And a reminder of our top story that Donald Trump has won the New Hampshire primary, beating out opponent Nikki Haley, who had hoped to have an upset win there. For more on this, we can speak with Andrew Smith, the director of the University of New Hampshire Survey Center. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, as we have been mentioning, Nikki Haley was really hoping for a win in New Hampshire. That's where the electorate is a bit more diverse than Iowa and possibly more open to her more moderate message compared to Trump. But still, Trump didn't have a blowout victory either there. So, what does the result tell us about their campaigns?
I think what it tells us overall first is that Donald Trump has had a fairly strong support within the Republican Party, both in New Hampshire and Iowa, but across the country as well. These are people that voted for him both in 2016 and 2020. So he has not lost that base of support. But there was a significant portion of the Republican electorate that does not like Donald Trump, and as well as other people who could vote in, say, the New Hampshire primary who don't like Trump as well. Nikki Haley happened to be not their first choice, but she was the only choice that they had left. So she did quite well, 45% of the vote or so. It looks like it's going to turn out, but nowhere near enough to win over the top of those more committed registered Republican voters that had already voted for Donald Trump. She was not so much it wasn't so much a vote for Nikki Haley as much as she was the vessel for those people who didn't like Trump.
Now, the race for the nomination is definitely about delegate math. We have South Carolina in a month. Later on in this race, we have Super Tuesday, where the majority of the delegates will end up being awarded. Looking at that, does Nikki Haley have a path forward?
Well, theoretically, with the delegate math, yes, but practically, given the way that the presidential nomination process works in the United States, I would say no. This was the only state where she, frankly, had a chance of winning to try to slow the momentum that Donald Trump built up after Iowa, and frankly, that he had already built up over the last 8 years. The states that follow New Hampshire don't have an electorate as conducive to her message or the non-Trump message as does New Hampshire. And I think that she doesn't really have a path to win the nomination after this. My analysis is that after New Hampshire and her loss in New Hampshire, that Donald Trump will be the nominee. And right now, it's just a matter of playing out the string.
Andrew, thank you so much for your insights. We're going to have to leave it there. That's Andrew Smith, the director of the University of New Hampshire Survey Center.